If you're going to be known as Mr. Spud in the Red River Valley of North Dakota, then you'd better eat, sleep, and live potatoes, and grow lots of them. There is one man to whom that name applies in 2013, and he is the winner of the National Potato Council's Environmental Stewardship Award. Carl Hoverson of Hoverson Farms is recognized for his outstanding achievement in reducing the risk of pesticides on the farm without compromising potato yield or quality. Had it not been for the farm crisis of the early 1980s, however, Hoverson might not even be growing potatoes.
When I went to 1982, we were looking for crops that, because everything else was so depressed, we're looking for some other ways of making the thing successful. So potatoes kind of always interested. My grandfather raised a lot of potatoes, and my uncles did. So we tried raising potatoes and got into it in 1982 and lost money the first couple of years, which wasn't too good, but kind of learned a few lessons and who to deal with and what to raise and how to do it.
Hoverson was growing processing potatoes under contract for J.R. Simplot Company when a severe drought struck the valley in 1988. Adversity again prompted change, causing him to begin irrigating his potato fields.
So here we are, 2013. I got a couple of my boys have been working with me for, since they were knee-high. But they've been taking more and more active part, so the transition I'm sure is starting.
There are 26,000 acres on the farm, with more than 17,000 used in potato production. On a 3-year crop rotation, this fifth-generation North Dakota farmer is producing 5,500 acres of potatoes a year. This family farm is an example of large-scale capital-intensive farming that is both economically and environmentally sustainable, enhancing the environment, protecting the resource base, and producing high-quality potatoes.
We can spend more time with trying to be stewards of the land and set out plans and implement them when we have a bigger farm that has the money and the resources to do that. On my operation anyway, it gives me more time to be aware of what we can do to make the whole situation better and do some planning and implementing of these plans, and that's what it's all about.
The tools of precision agriculture make it possible for the farm to be more efficient with fuel, fertilizer, pesticides, and irrigation.
All equipment on our farm is GPS in use, and that's really cut our fuel down. Our tractors are fuel efficient. All our field is zone mapped. We put fertilizer more on some spots and less on other spots to make that more efficient. We get a better crop that way. When we do spraying, all of it's GPSed and swath controlled, where there's no overlapping. The booms shut off by themselves. GPS helps accomplish that.
Pesticides are used sparingly, sometimes just on the edges of fields. Chemistries are rotated to avoid pest resistance. Also, the farm is transitioning to slow-release encapsulated fertilizer.
One thing we've started to do now is, instead of hauling our liquid fertilizer out to tanks in the center of the field, we went to slow-release fertilizer, and therefore we don't have to have the risk of, tank spillage or a wagon going in the field or a truck and something happening to that, whether it cracks or something malfunctioning at the pivots.
A fuel containment structure was built on the farm, which is located near a state highway. Safe handling of fuel and all chemicals are uppermost concerns.
Safety reminders for the harvest crews.
Worker safety and training are especially important at harvest time, but are emphasized year-round. 80% of the workforce is certified to handle pesticides. Harvest is the culmination of all the planning and hard work to produce a crop, the vagaries of Mother Nature notwithstanding. Warm days and cool nights help make the Red River Valley an excellent place to grow potatoes.
The soils here that we're raising on, and most of the soils that potatoes are raised on in North Dakota, are probably some of the better soils. They're not pure sand in most areas anyway, and so they got a little bit of organic to them. We don't want too much organic, but when a little bit, you get a better taste and texture.
Most of the potatoes grown on Hoverson farms are russet Burbanks and Umatillas, but the Hoversons are always interested in development of new varieties. They generously donated land and an irrigation pivot to North Dakota State University to conduct field trials. The experiment station's research greenhouse complex is first-rate. Research conducted here can lead to further reductions in the need for fungicides and insect controls.
Particularly here at NDSU, we're very involved, and one of our major objectives is to identify new and improved lines that have an increased emphasis on pest and disease resistance. But it also extends farther than that, because we can utilize the different diversity when we consider wild potato species and the various traits that they have. We might be able to incorporate more sustainability in terms of reduced requirements for water or for fertility needs.
Cropland acres are in a mix with shelter belts, waterways, and conservation reserve grasslands. Decisions on pesticides and tillage practices always take into account the integrity of the surrounding habitat.
You want this thing to be a full ecosystem, you know. It's self-sustaining. That means that as time goes on, that it'll keep regenerating itself, and that's where we want it to get to be, where, you know, all the trees are kind of coming up and regrowth.
Not long ago, the Hoversons purchased woodlands by the farm to leave in a natural state and share with others who appreciate the outdoors as much as they do.
We wanted to kind of preserve this for the future, not to build in this general area like that and leave it for the wildlife. So, and we have trails. As you might notice here, we have trails through here so people can walk or ride a horse or generally enjoy the outdoors here. I guess it's kind of neat. It's kind of quiet, kind of nice.
The Environmental Stewardship Award is a component of the Pesticide Environmental Stewardship Program of the National Potato Council and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Sponsorship by DuPont Crop Protection helps make this award and presentation possible. Congratulations to the 2013 winner, Hoverson Farms of Larimore, North Dakota.